You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Yeah, sure thing.
Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yeah?
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient.
Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
Hey there, travelers and dreamers. We all have that dream trip that we've been wishing we could go on. But too often, life just gets in the way, whether it's work, family responsibilities, or, in my case, and I'm sure many of yours, price. But your dream trip doesn't have to stay a dream any longer, because Priceline is here to help you book it with millions of deals on hotels, flights, cruises, and rental cars. That bucket list destination? Yeah, it's a lot closer than you think. You know, I've been wanting to go see the Pittsburgh Pirates for a long time at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. That's like at the top of my list of bucket list destinations of baseball parks around the country. And because I now know about the type of deals that Priceline offers, I may pull the trigger this summer and go see those Pirates. Priceline makes it easy and stress-free to book a flight and a hotel so I can go see my team play live. With millions of travel deals like up to 60% off hotels, I know I'll be able to find great options even when I need to book last minute. So don't just dream about that next trip, book it with Priceline. Download the Priceline app or visit Priceline.com to go to your happy price. Actual prices may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast. This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by Smirnoff. We do game days. Please drink responsibly. The Smirnoff Company in New York, New York.
I have noticed, as many of you have, that over the last 10 years, whatever the conversation is about race, or whether it's race in sports or race in politics, that it has gotten, in some instances, unfathomably dumb, as when Mina Kimes finds herself in quote-unquote controversy talking about Jackie Robinson because of how ridiculous the behavior is around any of these conversations. I'm going to talk later in the show with Jamel Hill about the general dumbness of everything that happened last week, where it's like, that is not a smart race conversation. Stephen A. Smith ending up with wanting to debate Donald Trump on DEI from that as the starting point, with saying that RG3 wasn't liked by the people at ESPN, and RG3 longing for when games just used to be games in coverage. That controversy is one of the dumbest I've seen in my lifetime, as we're supposed to be evolving this conversation.
But Stephen A. Smith debating Donald Trump is Super Bowl numbers on television, right?
That would be electric.
It's my worst nightmare.
I hate it so much.
I mean, maybe a presidential candidate coming up with Stephen A. Smith. I mean, it can happen.
Again, my worst nightmare.
You guys just want to... the Super Bowl?
It would be.
You're telling me there are people at home, a lot of people like sports. A lot of people in this country like sports. If you said to this person, Stephen A. Smith is debating President Trump tonight, they're not watching? Everyone's watching.
Pay-per-view numbers. That'd be massive.
Pay-per-view numbers aren't very good.
But the point is, it would be pay-per-view behind the paywall.
Make a comeback.
Exactly.
Big comeback.
You have to pay in Trump coin?
Oh, good God, man. I hate this so damn much. I hate it so much. Like, you want to talk about doing shows, you want to split off sports and politics during a sports show. Jackie Robinson's entire life was politics. He couldn't play Major League Baseball until 1947, where he was the first person to break the color barrier. Like, what are we doing here? Like, he had to play Negro League Baseball. Like, I don't know what RG3 is talking about. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It makes me so angry.
Can you guys look up for me just the history of the phrase color barrier? Because I want to explore something here that I do not know, because it's not an actual barrier. But when I think of whatever that is meant to represent, I think of Jackie Robinson. There is not another name. I don't know what a color barrier is, if not for Jackie Robinson as representation. I don't know the history of that phrase.
I mean, Rosa Parks had a color barrier too.
Agreed, but I'm saying I don't know what a barrier, where that phrase once started.
It's here. It's with Jackie Robinson. Apparently, they called it the color line, but also referred to as the color barrier. And it literally, by definition, it says the color line, also known as the color barrier, in American baseball excluded players of black African descent from Major League Baseball and its affiliated minor leagues until 1947. It's Jackie Robinson who broke it, and that's exactly where the term comes from.
So that is the history, and that is the fact, and we are in the process of rewriting history through everything from banned books to arguments about censorship, and they're just distracting, right? You need to understand that Mina Kimes is being used there for how she looks and whatever her political ideology is as a tool to then ensnare RG3, and it's how you do it. It's how you win. You just pit the sides against each other, let them devour each other in the stupidity, and you run off with all the money and try and make Gaza a luxury resort strip, like with the richest man in the world in your office. Like, that's how all that happens. You have all the money in the world, and you've cheapened every principle there is in America.
Well, here's the thing about a color barrier, because every black person had a color barrier back in 1947 and before that, because it was Jim Crow back then. It was segregation. Like, you couldn't eat at white restaurants or drink water from a white water fountain. That's how things went back then.
I need a sorbet of some sort, Jeremy. I'm going to put you in a tough spot here. I'm going to need a transition here that is light and breezy. Can you give me something that you came in here after a couple of days off, dying to talk about today, that can transition us from the conversation that makes Roy so angry into something a little lighter?
Well, it's a perfect conversation transition because it's still baseball oriented. Did you guys see what happened with the Orioles AA affiliate, the Chesapeake Bay Sox?
No.
Because they are going to have a unique name for select games this season. Just like the Pensacola Blue Wahoos became the Pensacola Mullets for select games, the Chesapeake Oyster Catchers is the name. And here's the logo of what they used for the Chesapeake Oyster Catchers. I don't know about you guys, but that oyster also looks like something else to me.
I like the logo. What's wrong with it?
For the audio audience, it's a baseball glove, and the glove caught an oyster, and in the oyster, it's a pearl that looks like
Dan, can you find the baseball?
Is it inside the vagina?
I think you found it.
What?
It's an oyster.
I thought the transition was going to be Jeremy singing his song about color barriers.
Oh, God. Oh, Lord. No.
He seems to have a song for
He's an
everything,
ally, though. He could whip one up.
Is there not
ally.
Is there not a marketing department here? Is there not a how does
there is, and that's why they ended up with that logo.
What's the story? What is the backstory? What is now happening around this wonderful logo?
What's happening around it is great because they released it, and what's funny is it seems as though they might not have had anyone catch that on the front end, but after they tweeted from their official account, some saw an oyster, others saw something unexpected. We see an opportunity to turn viral laughs into positive impact. In celebration of Women's History Month, 10% of all Oyster Catchers merch sales will support I Am Survivor, which is a cervical cancer education center.
This is
so
why
it really worked out
diversity,
perfectly.
Equity, inclusion
Yes.
is important because in a diverse workplace, someone may have said, hey, this actually looks like a vagina.
Yep.
So when I mentioned that Jeremy yesterday was doing that report on advancing through dancing, and the Heat, by the way, have been doing for a while now a celebration of women, that if we're going to make the RG3 Jackie Robinson conversation about politics, this then too would be the Heat aggressively being political by simply celebrating women during their broadcast, which is a choice the Heat have made. That is now a political choice. That's a political choice.
I don't know that it's political. I know that they have been doing this for several years now, and specifically the Advancing Through Dancing cause is really great because it's a professional leadership workshop for everyone who's a Heat dancer. And ultimately, at the end of it, what they did was they gave out a $10,000 grant to the winner who pitched what her business would be. She runs a nonprofit, and ultimately she's going to use that money to help get her pilot's license because it has to do with aviation and being able to spread for a good cause. But it's like, it's inherently criticized. Like if you go to social media and you see any of these posts, particularly with the heat, like even the celebrations for Women's History Month, all you're going to see is replies of people saying, fire Pat Riley.
I mean, of course it's political to celebrate women's inclusions in sports. It's political to have women included in the workforce in this country. We still have very backwards laws that don't really let women and especially mothers continue their careers in this country. Like we don't have a lot of things that other countries have. It's all political, Dan, yes.
And to bring it back to the Jackie Robinson part of it, right? Like that's why diversity, equity, and inclusion is important. Like DEI, again, we talked about this a little bit on Friday, but that phrase has been hijacked and turned into just a symbol for everything that the right doesn't like, no different than woke was, no different than critical race theory was, and no different than Black Lives Matter was. They just keep taking these terms, they turn them into abbreviated terms, BLM, CRT, DEI, so that nobody actually knows what the words are. But diversity, equity, and inclusion are the reasons why you're able to build up a workforce that is able to produce something that's better than it would have been if it was just a bunch of white dudes.
I asked you for a palate cleanser.
I tried.
We ended up
I
in
always
the
bring
same
it back
place.
there.
We ended up in exactly the same
It wasn't
place.
my palate cleanser at all. It's the same palate. What happened here? I didn't get cleansed. I'm in the same thing.
Jamel will fix this.
Oh.
Okay, well, I'd love to get all your thoughts on the matter.
On what, Jackie Robinson? I stand with Jackie.
Both of you.
The crazy thing about this is like the story was not about the removal of the article, right? It quickly just became a story about Mina during FaceTime on Around the Horn. And that's what the debate became about. Like the outrage wasn't even about the action. It was about the reacting to the action, which is kind of like
usage of her television time.
Yeah, it was like you guys are getting mad about the wrong thing here.
Right.
So I'll tell you some backstory here. It is dated, but just so that you know the choices that are being made in media at the moment around this kind of stuff, as you have legal rulings over the weekend where people are afraid of Trump and his money. And in this small little stupid playground of sports, a long time ago, me, Mitch Albom, and Mike Lupica wrote like these 2-minute things.
The sports reporters.
No.
What a show.
No, it's not this. Please. It's not a parting shot on sports reporters. That was one thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying weekly on SportsCenter, their signature property, Disney and ESPN, proud of this thing that is meant to represent their company as the proudest thing, built on SportsCenter. In there, they would put these 2-minute things that we wrote that were meant to be journalistically sound. Here's where the opinion is right here on whatever, politics or whatever. As you know, the shit stain takes off into the sky on pointing out in sports to people that the size of difference between the liberal media person and the average sports fan is larger than the size of the average media person in America and the average journalist. By leaps and bounds. That in sports, you will find this anti-black, anti-gay, anti-women. You'll find it more in sports proportionally. And other audiences are now feeding on that in communities where they can do this stuff, like yell about DEI, and then do the gender politics stuff that can allow trans people to be killed at a disproportionate rate and be good with it. We had 2 minutes on SportsCenter, and after, we did this for about a year, and the focus groups came back clearly. We don't want that. We don't like that. I want, when my opinion is also expressed by somebody, I want 2 people talking about that idea, not one person telling me what their idea is. And so then from there, all the things that are more inclusive are birthed, and Stephen A. Smith can become the star he can, going right, going left, and be just super inclusive everywhere and become a giant wrestling star that could fight with the president in debate at the height of the stupidity of the sports debate, where in sports, we're supposed to be leaders on this stuff, and I'm showing you a place where that stuff was actively said by the consumer, I don't want that, and then the people with the FU money comply, because that's what all the corporations are going to do that have the FU money, and now they will bow in front of this money with Musk and Trump because they're scared of the way all of the mess can be wielded. Like, I can't unsee the way all of these corporations after George Floyd said all the right shit, and I can't unsee the way it all went back to being exactly like it was with an even worse backlash, and now making the sports argument it's not even Kaepernick anymore. It's this garbage. Like, it's just nonsense. We're going to argue whether Jackie Robinson was historically relevant because of race. Like, we're going to make it so stupid that you just can't have a conversation about it, that no one's changing their minds about everything. We're just going to be fighting till the end of time, until we blow each other up.
I mean, it's the death of expertise, right? Like, that's kind of what's happened this century, is no one cares to listen to someone who has researched or studied or has become an expert on whatever their topic is. They want to hear both sides of the conversation. It's why we let Mike Ryan talk about the Heat when I'm talking about the Heat, because people want to hear the uneducated side when there's an expert right here who can tell you everything that's happening
I
factually.
thought we were cleansing the palate here.
Well, to be fair, we were cleansing the palate with the cute little oyster glove, and then Dan was like, what about the Heat's Women in Sports Day?
Yeah,
right
I tried to make
after
a joke about finding the baseball. You get it, Dan? Because of the spot that it is in the oyster? You get it?
No, Jeremy.
I can't see it either.
The humor is so highbrow.
It was lost on you?
Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Ryan, and how great is this weather? We're getting out of the coldest part of winter into the early on-stage spring. I know down south, the weather is perfect. It is perfect Miller time weather. You got MLB, MLS, you got NHL, you got all the sports going on, plenty of excuses to gather around a TV and have yourself a wonderful Miller time, thanks to Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people like you and me who love beer. Now is a perfect time for friends, family, and a great tasting light beer. With taste that you know you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks. I hate gimmicks. Just a great beer for people who like beer. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers because it has simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors and that iconic golden color. At just 96 calories and 3.2 grams per 12 ounces, Miller time is always a good time. The original light beer since 1975 and still the very best one. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Hey there, travelers and dreamers. We all have that dream trip that we've been wishing we could go on. But too often, life just gets in the way, whether it's work, family responsibilities, or, in my case, and I'm sure many of yours, price. But your dream trip doesn't have to stay a dream any longer, because Priceline is here to help you book it with millions of deals on hotels, flights, cruises, and rental cars. That bucket list destination? Yeah, it's a lot closer than you think. You know, I've been wanting to go see the Pittsburgh Pirates for a long time at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. That's like at the top of my list of bucket list destinations of baseball parks around the country. And because I now know about the type of deals that Priceline offers, I may pull the trigger this summer and go see those Pirates. Priceline makes it easy and stress-free to book a flight and a hotel so I can go see my team play live. With millions of travel deals like up to 60% off hotels, I know I'll be able to find great options even when I need to book last minute. So don't just dream about that next trip, book it with Priceline. Download the Priceline app or visit Priceline.com to go to your happy price. Actual prices may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
All right, I know I got to do this ad read, but hold on. Let me reapply. Did you hear that? Yep, that's my new favorite lip gloss from NYX Cosmetics. Now I'm ready to talk to you. I've been a huge fan of NYX Cosmetics for many years now. In fact, I use their Thick It, Stick It brow gel every single day. So you can imagine my excitement when we recently received a special delivery to the Batard studios from our friends over at NYX Cosmetics. And there it was. When I opened the box, glowing, I heard the angels sing, ah. It's their latest lip gloss fat oil lip drip. It's NYX Cosmetics' first lip oil of its kind. This creamy lip oil will have your lips dripping with fat perks. You get all the shine of a lip gloss and none of the stickiness while experiencing 12-hour hydration. I'm usually a matte lip gloss kind of gal. My normal go-to is NYX Cosmetics lip gloss, the Lingerie XXL. But after applying the status update shade, I have found my new go-to lip gloss. Fat Oil Lip Drip has high shine finish with comfortable wear and none of the sticky texture. A lip product that's hydrating, non-sticky, and only $9? Now that's a win. Try Fat Oil Lip Drip from NYX Professional Makeup. Available in 14 universally flattering shades. Find your perfect Fat Oil Lip Drip. Shop now at nyxcosmetics.com or a retailer near you.
Don Batard.
It sounds to me like everybody could use a hug because a hug is always the right size.
Stugotz.
All I have put in my body today is 3 cups of coffee and an entire cup of honey.
Go to the penalty box.
Don't let him fool you. He said in the break that he's jittery.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
You want a behind-the-scenes
Love you
story,
too, Dan.
Yes.
So we're doing this March Sadness tournament that's going on, and the fans love it. It's great. So we're doing March Sadness, and one of the video submissions was a new character, but the file got corrupted before this person could make it into March Sadness. So I don't know if you're aware, but we have this character, Zazo, called Misogynistic Bane, who makes appearances from time to time.
Okay.
And we had a fan who created a character that was feminist Darth Vader. And it was an incredible character where Darth Vader would come out and be praising Caitlin Clark. And then when we tried to submit it and put it into the system, the file got corrupted, and then it couldn't be tracked down. So if you're out there, feminist Darth Vader, feel free to reach out and send us more videos. Or if there's a lot of fake feminist Darth Vaders out there who now want to run with this idea, I have no way of knowing which one the real one of you was. So feel free to send in all of your feminist Darth Vader videos, and we'll be sure to try to include them in the show moving forward.
I don't know what the reaction is, and I don't want to know what the reaction is. Can we just give a brief update on some of the advancers? Can we just play some of the advancers? And I'd like to start a different tournament right now just to make this a little messier. So,
so this is what we can do. So we've been putting out some of the competitions against each other, and we have 2 of the competitions that were going against each other, 2 of the games that fans could vote on to see which fan moves on to the next round. So the first round, it was tell us why you should watch a game with Dan, or tell us why you're the biggest fan of the show. There was some confusion there. Then the next one was tell us some of your favorite show moments. And then the fans go on and they vote for who it is that they want to advance. So here are 2 of the matchups that we have. We're down to our Sweet 16 now. Things are getting serious. This Thursday and Friday, we're going to have our Sweet 16 matchups. And then Saturday and Sunday is our Elite 8. Things are winding down very quickly here. And one of the things that we've found in the past, when we would have Looks Like, which fans didn't really like that tournament, but when we had the Looks Like tournament, or we'd have some of the other tournaments, it would be the same thing over and over again. So there was a fatigue, and you kind of knew the number 1 seed, you know exactly what you're going to get. Every time it gets played, it's the same thing. In this tournament, they're submitting new videos with new prompts every single round. So you could very easily have an off round, and the number 1 seed gets bounced. In fact, I don't want to spoil anything for those of you who are catching up on March Sadness on Twitter or whatever, who are going back and watching them and following along, not in real time. We all know Wednesday is Spoiler Wednesday. On Wednesday, Zazo, you don't know this. Unfortunately, you won't be here this Wednesday. Wednesday, Spoiler Wednesday. That's the day we can talk about the Sunday shows. So I'm not going to spoil what happened in March Sadness over the weekend.
It's a Wild Billy Wednesday, which is strange to me that we're putting some rules in Wild Billy
Spoiler Wednesday. Well, the wild thing is we come and we spoil shows, but they've had 4 days to watch a show at that point in time. The point being, some of the heavyweights that we thought were going to go far in the first round had a dud of a second round and have been bounced. And I need to check my scorecard. I believe there's only 1 number 1 seed left in this tournament at this point.
Well, let's just get me updated here. All
right, so here's 2 of our matchups. Here we're going to head over to Region 4 for one of our matchups.
Who the hell is Tony spitting facts? Stuff we cannot look at yet. Mike Ryan don't know where he's at. Don't look now. Oh no, he's broken now. Tripping on the couch, ouch. Falling to the board for Steve Kornhack. Amina's lost control. And Izzy can't stop looking for Sugar Daddy.
It was amazing.
My favorite moment was the arrival of Peepo and his pure passion for the U. But I'm in this tournament for one reason, to make it to Miami and collect a debt. Greg, You flip-flop more than a Hialeah Chancleta. You're so crooked, I feel like your next career stop will be the mayor of Miami. I mean, your last article that got clicks came from stabbing your best friend in the back. Cody, pay your bets. You're no journalist. You're a con artist. Tu sabe.
Whoa.
Well, I have a conundrum that I found
Was
myself.
the first one Jeremy?
The first one actually did a Jeremy cover on the first round, and he did the Pink Pony Club, and he was dressed as a unicorn, and he won in advance. And this round, spoiler alert, Brad the Bard was eliminated. Brandon threatening Cody has moved on. Now, here's kind of something that we might have been worried about, and if I'm going to be truthful, in our selection committee, which is me and Kugler, we went through the videos, and there were certain people that we said, there might be a red flag here. Like this might be this might potentially be something that Frankie's going to have to intervene on. Frankie's our security guard, as everybody knows. So here's the thing: Brandon now has advanced in Brad the Bard, and Brandon apparently made some sort of bet with Greg Cody in Las Vegas when we were there at the Super Bowl. And his first video, he was saying he's found a workaround where if he wins this tournament, he comes down to Miami and he intends to collect on this bet with Greg Cody. And truth be told, I think it was a 16 seed, so I thought Brandon's not going to move on. Like, it's fine. We can. And then Brandon moved on and upset a number 1 seed. And now Brandon, as a 16 seed, has now eliminated a number 8 seed. And apparently these threats to Greg Cody are a thread that are going to continue throughout these rounds. So I'm now starting to wonder what this bet was, because I have absolutely no frame of reference why it is that he keeps lightly threatening Greg Cody, and if we will be responsible if he actually wins and comes through to deliver on said threat of making Greg pay off this bet.
So no one's asked Greg what the bet is?
No, and he's on a cruise now, so I mean, we may find a situation where he's in the Final Four, and we don't know if we're going to be flying a crazy person down to maybe beat up Greg. And I know you would hate that, Zaslow.
Well, listen, this is not something I actively think about, all right? You guys like to think that I'm sitting around, twiddling my fingers and coming up with a plan to take down Greg Cody. I don't think about Greg Cody. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, we'll worry about Brandon and his threatening of Greg Cody if we need to next round or the round after that. And
well, what about Dan, though? Dan's got to watch the game with these people.
Yeah,
Dan's fine, though.
It's safe the first round. We'll be safe the first round. And he doesn't have a bone to pick with Dan. It's really Greg he has a problem with. So we're fine. We're fine. If you want, we can preview another matchup in Region 4. Now, this is one of those situations where number 5 Alvaro was very strong in the first round. And I thought Alvaro might go on a deep run. And then Brandon, number 13, who in the first round told us about his dead dad, round 2 told us about his potentially dead dog. And he may have sprung an upset here. Here's the matchup.
Take 19. Favorite show moment? Wow, so many to choose from. Like the old saying goes, en la mañana se come arroz porque la escoba tiene miedo. Which, of course, we all know means that time that Greg Cody revealed Dan's engagement, that was crazy. Oh, how about that other time when Stugotz pensó que Jonathan Cochran era blanco? Oy, o cuando Guillermo se comió la cebolla, which, of course, we all know means hamburger with cheese, and tonight we are all butter. Oh, and Kevin Durant has no rings. Oh, and Le Batard Durant. But not the Roberto Duran interview. Night-night.
Hey everyone, my favorite moment is when Dan told a story about his dead dog. He was shirtless, sobbing at a stoplight, holding his dead dog in his arms. A fan pulled up next to Dan at a stoplight, again, as Dan's sobbing, holding his dead dog in his arms, and said, "Dan Le Batard?" As a dog lover of my own, I could never imagine something like that happening to me and my sweet boy. If you want to avoid more dead dogs, just vote for me.
So, universal applause for the tournament,
Oh,
right?
the fans love this tournament.
Am I the only one that wants to see what the other 18 takes were from Alvaro?
Yes.
You would have liked his first round submission, I think. It was poetry.
Tell me whether I should, and we will continue with that tournament as well, but tell me whether you guys would like to partake in this as a tournament. Can we just put together, please? I'm just going to say an assortment of iconic sounds. Just iconic sounds. So if I'm going to go, I'll go 16 through 1 here, and just tell me if this is a tournament that you would like to do, yes or no. We'll do it as quickly as we can. Number 16. Is that an iconic sound?
That is the intro to Back to the Future.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
How does that not put a smile on your face?
It was a
when you hear that?
16, yeah.
But I just didn't know that was an iconic sound. Give me a 15. It's a much stronger 15 than a 16, right? That's stronger.
15 is an embarrassment for that, by the way. That's like a 4-3-2.
They lost their conference tournament, so.
All right, hold on just a second. Hold on to this tournament because I want to think about this for a second. I want to give some consideration to whether or not this is something I want to do going forward because we can. It'd be pretty easy for us to come up with 68 great sounds.
Well, we have to decide pretty soon because the real tournament's halfway over.
Well, I want to throw this tournament at that tournament in the event that we don't want anything to be too perfect, too universally applauded by the fan base.
Well, good news. We have a tournament that is not.
Okay, well, I'm glad that. Well, you just told me that.
I lied. They hate this tournament.
Billy, why? What?
I wanted to make you feel better about
Billy,
it.
No, I know that. Billy, you think that I don't know that they would hate this tournament?
I don't know.
Okay, I appreciate you saying.
I'm worried
yes,
about your
with me
feelings.
there.
I don't want you to feel, So if I have to come out here and fib a little bit and tell
Billy,
you, yeah, it's universally
I'm not
approved,
Billy,
that's what I'll tell you.
I'm not mad at the lie. I am mad that I know that the fans aren't going to like us outsourcing our work to other fans to try to do our work.
Well, I have a spoiler alert for
then
them.
Give as a prize, watch the game with Dan.
Look, at some point, if we tell the story of how this happened, that was not supposed to be the prize. That's a whole nother thing. But I don't know if they're aware of this. The Looks Like tournament was completely outsourced to the fans. They came up with all of those. We weren't writing those. It was always outsourced to the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And if they think that watching hundreds of terrible videos is a lot easier than just reading Jim Larinaga looks like he works at IHOP, that's not exactly how it works.
Well, but see, this is one of the wonderful criticisms that can come your way when you don't or we don't do something well. Yes, there is great frustration in working your hardest to do something less good than something that was easier. Yes, that's correct. There's great frustration in that. Yeah, that's not a great situation to have, to work a lot harder on something that becomes less good.
Going back to the other tournament, I thought that Back to the Future sound was the beginning of Springfield's favorite color. That was what I thought it sounded like.
So it wasn't as iconic a sound as I thought it was.
That's why it's 16.
All right, let me go. Give me 14. Give me what would be a 14 in an iconic tournament sounds.
That's real low.
Yeah, that's low.
You've got a real big impression of yourself when that's the introduction you want to make.
Bombastic.
I mean, just for all time,
Bombastic.
I want everyone to know when 20th Century Fox is walking into the room. Number 13.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Again, criminally.
yes.
Wow, that's a good one.
Criminally
Good
low.
tournament.
Well,
Good
but you keep
Lord.
saying that it's too low, but every sound we hear, they're all amazing.
Give me a 12. Give me an 11.
That's too high.
That's too high?
Yeah. All the ones we've heard already are
EA
better
Sports
than
is better
that.
than
What was that?
That was Super Mario Brothers when you get the extra life.
1960? What was
Oh, for crying out loud, man. Make us look old. Just make us look old, Tony.
You are.
Okay. All right, yeah.
That was a great retort. 10.
What's that from?
That was better than EA Sports? Okay, guy.
I got moved by the end of that.
Where?
Yeah, there.
There.
What do you think happened in the game?
Somebody scored.
Scoreless game. Went to penalty kicks. Number 9.
I mean, everybody knows that's a 1 seed. Come on.
I don't know what that is.
What?
It's the Pornhub intro.
What? That's a number 1 overall.
That's a number 1 overall. I hear Ethan Badowski screaming through the walls that are soundproof. I hear him shouting, "That's a number 1."
He knows all about that Pornhub intro, I guess, huh?
Not in the state of Florida anymore, though.
No, he's got an ID.
They're workarounds.
Number 8.
That is from The Price is Right, apparently.
That's terrible.
We should have reversed the order of this.
Well,
seating.
we're doing it on the fly. Number 7.
That's good. You know you're about to watch something good when you hear that.
Yeah, that's worthy of its seating.
The last couple, actually.
Number 6.
What is that?
That's the Wilhelm scream. That is a very famous scream that you hear in the movies.
It's not very famous if you have to tell us what it is, though.
Who's Wilhelm?
Apparently, he was the guy that screamed, Wilhelm.
Very
Fourth
famous,
member of the band.
Don't know what it is.
Can you play that again, please? It's strange to me that I don't know what these iconic sounds are. What I don't.
Sounds like Zaz a little bit.
Is Wilhelm 2 names?
No, it's his last name.
Oh.
I don't know what that is. Number 5. Number 4.
Of course.
Classic.
Number 3. Billy, what do you
That's
make?
more of a song. It's a little long.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a song.
Yeah, these are different categories. Sound effects and songs are different.
Yeah.
It's the intro to a very famous HBO
song.
A song, yeah.
I mean, so is the song from Back to the Future.
No, that's...
Like the Titanic song. Is that a sound or a song? My Heart Will Go On. That's a song.
No, that's a legitimate song. Yeah.
Number 2. Man, I feel once we get to number 2 and stuff that there are some other questionable ones in here. In number 16, I think we could come up with a bunch of 1 seeds here. Number 1. So, Billy, what are you refuting? You're saying
That's a sound.
The Curb Your Enthusiasm has to go because it's a song and too long. Andres Cantor has to go because the gold call is too long.
Still don't even know who Wilhelm is.
If the goal sound is going to be there, we need a double bang in the 1 spot, I think.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to continue with this tournament. We will see what we put together and just throw at you.
What about that lady from the local news when she fell doing the grapes and she goes, ow, 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 ow.
Yeah. I think that might have been like one of the first things that we played again and again as a show 17 years ago, whenever it happened on live television. I think like the next day, and it feels like something that feels to me when you tell that story, and we'll play this sound for those of you who haven't heard it, because I think of it as almost one of the first sounds we ever played that sort of spread, and I guess it wasn't pre-social media, but it feels like it was it feels like it was really early in our show's history, where a woman is crushing grapes with her feet on national television, and she falls out of the grape bucket, and when she falls, something really hurts.
This is a woman. Listen to the sound she makes when she hits the floor. She falls off a platform. She's like crushing grapes with her feet, but she slips, falls right on her face, and this is what it sounds like.
Tours and tastings, vineyard tours, seminars, arts and crafts. It's a lot of fun, a whole day. Stop. Oh, stop. I can't breathe. Stop. No.
boy, I think she's actually hurt.
But look at my hair.
Okay.
Somebody get me a brush. Oh, dear. Let's go to a commercial.
I had the wind knocked out of me when I was young, and no one had explained to me what that is, and that is terrifying. If it has not been explained to you, trying to grab your breath when you've fallen out of a swing and fallen on your back, and you don't know what it is to lose your breath.
Dan, by the way, I was at my nephew's flag football game the other day, and I was reminded of you because I was looking at the coach on the other side, and I was like, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. And then it made me think of you as the coach of the Little League team. And I'm like, oh, I get it now. Dan had no idea. The problem is the coach couldn't stop the double reverse. So the kid would throw it one way and then the other way. They're 5 years old, obviously.
Neither could Miami this year, to be fair.
Also true. But then I would think of Dan, like, what was it? You had the one play, and then all of a sudden when they stopped that one play, like it was over?
To be clear, the story that Tony is telling, and he just decided to look me dead in the eye and say, hey, Dan, I saw someone who didn't know what they were doing, and it made me think of you.
In a football setting, of course.
He was saying that sincerely, and I know exactly what he was talking about. When I was 15 years old, I was coaching an undefeated football team that was the only team in the league that had a quarterback who could throw and a receiver who could catch. And we rode it to great glory until a coach stifled me in the championship game because his team had gotten a lot better, and I just had that one play. I didn't really, because I was 15, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was a very bad coach. So I'm glad, Tony, that the story that made you think of just total incompetence is watching somebody that didn't know what they were doing.
Couldn't stop the double reverse. I mean, you know the kid's going to throw it back to the other kid and go the other way, Zaz.
Zaslow, there's a number of different things that I want to throw in front of the shipping container about you that I think are strange.
Okay.
Shipping container, is it or is it not strange to travel with a soap dish?
What?
Soap dish.
A soap dish.
Like a soap ashtray?
Is it no, like in the shower?
Yeah, like where you put, like, it looks like an ashtray. You put the soap in it, right?
And it's got a cover.
Is it or
a dish?
Is it or is it not?
Oh, a travel.
Well, it sounds like a travel case. That's different than a soap dish.
Yeah.
If he wants to travel with a bar of soap, what is he going to do? Put it in a bag?
Yes, I do.
Plastic bag.
Zephyr Hills, man? Irish Springs?
I don't care about the water.
Zephyr Hills is water.
Weird or not weird? Soap dish.
No, that's not weird.
Thank you.
That's
I
not
like
weird.
cleaning my body.
Hotel gives you free ones, though. You know, it's free soap.
Wait, what? Of course this is weird, Roy. What do you? Why would this not be weird?
It's a travel case for the soap that you want to use.
They gave me soap.
No, but the dish. Like a ceramic dish?
I have my bar of soap that I like using. I can't necessarily trust that the hotel has a bar of soap that is good for my skin.
But let's clarify. So this is not you bringing like a little ceramic dish to put soap on. This is you having a travel case that's plastic that you can kind of snap it open and close with your own soap.
Okay, that's
a
weird
little
at
more
all.
normal. Yeah.
Thank you.
Dan, not weird.
Setup wasn't great there,
Bar
Dan.
of soap is weird.
That's not a soap dish, also.
Normal.
You made it seem like it's
like an
ceramic.
ashtray.
Come on, Dan.
When I was in the shower with Zaz, I saw a soap dish. And you guys can call it whatever you want. He can hide with whatever his shames are here. He can say, I have a carrying case, and then all of a sudden be met with your judgments and start changing what it looked like. That looked like a ceramic dish to me.
But I was clean.
Was it ceramic or not?
You were.
Hey friends, it's Jer Bear here, and I'm here to tell you all about Boost Mobile, which is now a legit nationwide 5G network. So I must take a break from the jokes here for a second and put on my serious voice, because I would never, ever joke about a 5G network that has invested billions building 5G towers across the country. Not even once. Not even if Mr. Boost Mobile himself asked me to. There is nothing funny about it. Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network and also provides coverage across 99% of America. Seriously. Visit boostmobile.com or your nearest Boost Mobile store location to learn more. The Boost Mobile network, together with our roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds, not available in all areas.